welcome to True Heel Heat.
Alright, this is Danhausen here, very nice, very evil. You are watching True Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are back once again for another edition of our Scream Retro Reviews. This time we are reviewing Scream 5 from 2022, 11-year break from the last Scream that we reviewed for Scream 4, and they are back to bring back the meta vibes that Scream is known for, and of course to review our latest Scream episode. I am joined by my good brother here, the one and only StatKing, John Martin. John, how you feeling? How does it feel? We're back once again to discuss some more Scream.
Yeah, I was about to say back like we never left. This is one of the fun movies for me for Scream because of just how well it kind of pays homage to the original and kind of pushes forward with some new territory. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. And as always, love chatting with you about Scream. So let's talk about it, man.
If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all of your Scream family, friends, and fans on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can sound off in the live chat if you're watching on the premiere, but if you're watching on demand, comment down below and let us know what you thought about Scream 2022. This is one where they didn't give it the number title. They went right back to the original. They called it Scream. So how was kind of your first time viewing this? Did you go to the theaters to watch this, or did you watch it like on demand?
No, this was an on-demand streaming for me. To be honest, it's kind of rare for me to go to the theaters anymore. I'm making an exception for Scream 7 simply because of how well they've kind of rebuilt the genre or the franchise.
Yeah.
But when this was coming out, I was like, it's a new cast, it seems like there's gonna be a new let me wait and see how this turns out. And it turned out great in my eyes. So that kind of built up the momentum. But yeah, it was a very interesting concept to me, like the idea of we're just gonna go back to like just Scream as a title. Sometimes you see that like Aliens, Alien 3, like things like that.
Halloween.
Right. And it's interesting, right? Because this is a movie franchise that is a horror franchise. It's a horror slasher meta commentary thing that talks about other horror movies, but it's been rebooted twice if you think about it.
Yeah.
and so like the idea of that, you have to think even before obviously we know what's going to happen, but like even going into it, you're like thinking to yourself, like, what are they going to do? Oh, they should, like, there's got to be something there about reboots and all that kind of stuff. And hey, I think they did a really great job with this one.
I do too, as well. So let's get into it. We should say, like you said, the whole movie is really a meta commentary on requels or legacy sequels and toxic fandom as well. So the opening, we get kind of a callback to the original Scream, where probably the most notable actress on the cast, Jenna Ortega, who plays Tara Carpenter, she does the opening here, and she's home alone when Ghostface gives her a call. It's the same voice, Roger L. Jackson, that plays the voice of the Ghostface over the phone, and he calls her with like a stuttery tone where you can kind of hear that it's the same voice, but you can't really, as he basically feigns that he is Tara's mom's new boyfriend from Group, and he's kind of talking to her while she's texting her friend Amber, and he then asks her, "What's your favorite scary movie, Tara?" And this freaks her out. She's like texting her friend like, "Oh, this psycho's on the phone," and then it's not Amber anymore on the phone when the person calls back, and it's like, "Answer the phone, bitch." And the Ghostface voice gives her a stab trivia while threatening to kill her friend Amber, sending her a video that he's outside of Amber's house. Who they say he says that they duplicated her phone because she leaves it around everywhere. So it gives her the stab trivia, like you said. What was it in when we were talking about Scream 4? Tara cheats by using IMDb, where we see multiple different references, like from past movies. Like Heather Graham played Casey Becker, Tori Spelling played Sidney. You had Luke Wilson who played Billy Loomis, and we learned that Vince Vaughn played Stu in Stab 1.
Can you just imagine what that performance was?
He just played the same character he played in Psycho. Really well done. That was well done. Tara gets the wrong answer when she is asked who's the killer in Stab 1, and she says Billy Loomis. And of course, we know as Scream fans that it was Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. So that gives her basically, he threatens to break into the house. She tries to open the front door, and he's right at the door. She closes the door. She locks it. She uses like her phone app to lock the door, and it unlocks on her. And it's so tension based. I remember the first time I watched this scene and I was just on the edge of my seat, like, they are going to really kill Jenna Ortega in the first scene. Like, I know they've done this before, but not Jenna Ortega, not Wednesday.
Not Wednesday.
Not Wednesday. They break in, they attack Tara, stabs her first, then as she's trying to crawl away, breaks her ankle, stomps on her ankle and breaks her ankle. Then he stabs, the Ghostface stabs her multiple times, but in non-fatal places, like in the side, in the stomach, but never kind of in the heart or in the head, anything like the usual stab killers will do. For the first time, though, the opening kill wasn't a kill. What did you think about this choice of having this whole scene and how it was very tension-based, but not making it a regular open kill like the past movies?
I really liked it because similarly to when we were getting Randy's different explanations in Scream 2 and Scream 3, it was this whole idea of the cliche has to be subverted. And the cliche here in Scream is that the person dies in the beginning. And it's the first time that the person does not. It is a really great job because it leads us every time. The murder usually is somebody that's like not 100% integral to the plot, and they're not, so there's somebody that's, you can understand why the Ghostface may want to kill them, like they're tangentially related to the Ghostface, but they're not specifically and they're tangentially related to Sidney, but they don't drive the plot. Like there's nothing like the police goes, oh, we started searching this person's room after they died just for clues. In this situation, it's 100% related to both our final girl or final girls and the actual Ghostface. So I think it was very well done, and it kind of taught you that once you finish the movie, that going forward you have to keep all possibilities open in your mind, which like you could be closed off to the idea of what something can be as you're watching it, and now you're like, yeah, no, everything's available, everything's on the table.
Yeah, I thought it was a ballsy decision, but it was the right decision.
Yeah,
I will say there is a wrong decision in this movie. That's a teaser.
I want to see this.
We then meet Tara's estranged sister, Sam Carpenter, who is in Dedesto, and she's with her boyfriend working at like a bowling place. Her boyfriend's name is Richie. She gets a call from Wes Hicks, who tells her that Tara got stabbed, but she survived and she's in the hospital. So Sam and Richie, they decide to make their way to Woodsboro to see Tara. Where on the way there in the car, Sam explains the Stab movies and how it's relevant to our hometown of Woodsboro and the Ghostface killers behind it. And she even makes references that the last time that it happened was in Scream 4 in 2011. We then go to Woodsboro High, where we get a lot of callbacks to the first Scream, including Drew Barrymore playing the voice of the principal at the school. That is Drew Barrymore's voice. We then go to Tara's friend group, and they talk about the stabbing and they start accusing everybody. The friend group is Wes, Wes Hicks, the one that called Sam. You have Amber Freeman, who is the one that Ghostface threatened in the opening scene. You have Chad and Mindy Minks, who are twins, and you have Chad's girlfriend, Liv, who's not really a part of the friend group, but more kind of outlier because of Chad. Should mention Chad is played by Mason Gooden, who is the son of Cuba Gooding. I did not know that until researching this. Wes is the justified paranoid one due to his mom being Sheriff Judy Hicks, who was one of the victims during Scream 4, the last movie that we reviewed here. We also in this scene meet Vince Schneider, who is stalking Liv after they had a summer fling, and makes him one of the suspects, our first suspects for this murder. Sam visits Tara with all the friends there at the hospital. Sam and Tara, they have like a touching sister moment where Tara asks Sam to stay there. You also see that Amber is very suspicious and cautious of Sam right from the get-go there. Is that for good reason or for not? We'll see. All the friends, they then go to a pool hall where Vince is stalking Liv again, and he basically gets into a confrontation with Chad. He pulls a knife on him when he steps up, but then they all get kicked out of the pool hall. We then see Vince is pissing on the pool hall afterwards. However, he becomes our first official kill of this movie, as Ghostface basically plays a game with him and then eventually stabs him to death, making him the first victim. Sam leaves Tara's side at the hospital bed with Richie, who's watching Stab on Netflix because he didn't know about the Stab movies before Sam told him about it, or so he says. Sam gets a call from Ghostface after she has an hallucination because she is seeing her father, Billy Loomis, in her head. So yeah, I was like, okay. This is okay. All right. Sam gets the call from Ghostface, who knows about the family secret. Ghostface then attacks Sam, who gets away while Ghostface vanishes. Then Sam then has to reveal the secret to Tara that Sam looked at Mama Carpenter's diary when she was 13 years old, and it reveals that she got pregnant by someone else in high school. Mama Carpenter lied to their dad, so he basically leaves her. And then basically when Sam confronts Mama Carpenter, she didn't realize that her dad was right behind her, which basically breaks up their whole family. And it led to Sam becoming this young menace who started committing crimes and doing drugs, as well as having some run-ins with Deputy Judy at the time, that is now the sheriff. The kicker is when she reveals to Tara that her dad is Billy Loomis, the person who started it all, the original Ghostface. This was a big risk by Scream, with Sam seeing visions of Billy in her head and all of this kind of connecting the final girl to the original killer. But I thought this was a great risk to do, and it helped to kind of bring everything together in a big way to me. What did you think about this choice?
I thought it was really good. It's got like it adds like a certain sort of twist to it where it's just like you're just not expecting it whatsoever. Like you're at first you're like, wait, why is she seeing Billy Loomis? And then my first thought was like, okay, there's got to be some kind of familial connection or something, because like why specifically Billy? Or is she just mentally deranged because of everything like she kind of grew up learning about or experiencing with the original series of stabs and screams and so on and so forth? But I thought they did a really great job of establishing who I like to call Baby Goat, Sam Carpenter, probably like the second best character for me in this entire movie series, despite only 2 appearances. They did a really great job establishing her in these opening scenes and really bringing out the tension and kind of giving you, because like Sidney Prescott in the early movies was a very innocent person, right? Like she didn't really cause problems. She didn't really do anything to other people. Not really a loner, but not really like a popular person or anything like that. Like she just kind of was a person. Like she was designed for all of us to kind of sort of step into her shoes. Whereas Sam Carpenter, like they made clear-cut choices. This person's going to be a loner. This person's going to have had trouble with the law. This person's going to have mental issues. This person's going to have family problems. And so, yes, there are ways that we can identify with her, but ultimately what it does is it turns her into an underdog. And for all of us, regardless of where we come from in life, we have all felt like an underdog in some way, shape, or form throughout parts of our life. And because of that, that's how we identify with her, as opposed to just being the sort of audience surrogate that Sidney Prescott started out being. And so Sam just brings this kind of unique set of skills or unique set of circumstances to the table that helps push the narrative along. Because at first, when Amber, played very well by Mikey Madison in one of her early roles before like she got huge with Nora. When Mikey Madison or Amber is being distrustful of Sam, we're kind of like, that seems a little weird, right? Like to your point, like what is so off about this? But then it's Deputy Sheriff Hicks. And you're like, what did this girl do? Like, what did she do that makes none of these people like her? None of these people trust her. With the exception of Wes Hicks is like, yeah, you know, I like her. And
Chad, because
Chad too, right?
Wear the Pokemon
onesie.
pajamas.
I mean, I get it. But yeah, it's like this, like what could she possibly have done? And then you start finding this out, and then you think to yourselves, wow, so this is a community that has been rocked multiple times by people imitating the Ghostface. Well, who was Ghostface? It was Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. And what I liked about the opening scene, tying back to that, to the opening scene, is that Jenna Ortega's character, Tara's first thought was Billy Loomis, not Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. Because for everything that Stu did, he wasn't motivated by like some kind of mental illness or derangement. He just was being peer pressured, right? Like he just was quote unquote regular level crazy.
He was manipulated.
Right. He was like regular level crazy. Billy is like actual level crazy. And so like this idea that you're thinking, oh wow, this could potentially run in the family. You're like, oh, I get it now. So I think they did a really great job of introducing her, and kind of from when she gets there, this plot like really moves. It moves very, very quickly until a sudden slowdown for no reason, at least pacing wise, which we're about to get into.
Yes, indeed. You're very right there. Tara is tired of the lies and is frustrated with being abandoned by Sam, so she kicks Sam out of her hospital room. Sam tells Richie to bail, but he stays by her side. He's such a good boy.
Such a good guy, you know?
Such a good guy. He's just a hopeless romantic, right? Right? Sam tells Richie to bail, but he stays, and Sam and Richie go to visit an expert, and that expert is Dewey Riley. We see Dewey is at his trailer, and his life has been hard on him. He is now divorced and estranged from Gale and not sheriff anymore, but still keeps up with Gale by watching her show Good Morning with Gale Weathers. You get Sam and Richie gain entry to enter Dewey's trailer by Sam saying who's her dad. Dewey then warns her to never trust the love interest. Oh my God, Dewey is now Randy. He got it right. And then he told us both killers in this one scene. He was like, never trust the love interest, and the killer is usually in the friend group. That's the two things that we got from Dewey in this one scene. When they ask for his help, Dewey kicks them out, though, not wanting to kind of get involved because he's been stabbed 9 times, he says. Dewey calls Sidney immediately, and they have a nice little conversation, very brother and sister vibes, not like that whole scene in Jill's house from Scream 4 to me. Dewey calls her. They have this nice conversation where Sidney nails one of the best lines of the film. I'm Sidney fucking Prescott. Of course I have a gun.
He's like, I got 3 on me right now.
I got one in the baby carriage.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, door stays open, shotgun above the mantle. You know what I mean? Like,
wise beyond her years. But we should note that in this conversation, it's revealed that she's now married to Mark Kincaid, who is the detective from Scream 3. However, what we're going to see in Scream 7, she's not married to Mark anymore, unless they just recast Mark Kincaid. She's not married to Mark anymore.
But does she say Kincaid? I'm trying to remember that.
No, she says Mark.
Okay, so they're just
Mark was Kincaid. Was Mark Kincaid was
they'll just be like it's a different Mark.
Oh, it's a different Mark. And she has 3 kids. She has 3 kids too. So I don't know if that's going to stay consistent in Scream 7 as well. In this film, they established that she has 3 kids.
That's right.
Dewey could only muster though a text to Gale. He basically just lets her know, Ghostface is back. Stay away. Oh yeah, hope you're doing well. Smiley face. The talk with Sid, though, leads to Dewey deciding to help Sam and Richie on their investigation. So they head to the Meeks Brown house with all the friend group there. The house has a memorial theater for Uncle Randy. Martha Minks is here as well as the twins' mom. She has a nice moment with Dewey where they hug before she references how bad Dewey looks.
It's a recurring theme. It's just like...
You're on hard times here.
Yeah. He's like, this is not what I left my trailer for. I did not leave my trailer to be insulted.
Even Wes goes in on him like, oh, you're a suspect too. You know, you got divorced by your TV show wife, and you're probably bitter. You're not sheriff anymore.
Wes is probably looking at him like, that could have been my dad.
If he would have ate those damn lemon squares. Sam's reveal, though, also leads to Mindy with one of the best monologues of the whole movie, where she goes into straight up Randy Meeks mode, and she tells us about legacy sequels. She also talks about toxic fandom on the Stab movies because of the Stab movie that came out last year. And she says 2 essential rules for a requel, as she calls it, is that the legacy characters can die. And 2, that Sam could be the killer because she's connected to the first killer. This sends Sam on a whirlwind as she just decides to bail. She takes Richie's car and she drives off, and she has another run-in with Ghost Dad in her head, looking in the windshield. Looking in the rearview mirror. We then go to Sheriff Hicks, who is a competent suburban mom. She even makes reference with a note to Wes that there's lemon squares. She's still making those lemon squares 11 years later. She gets scared by Wes as he arrives home after the meeting at the Meeks house, and then leaves to go get them dinner before she gets a call from Ghostface. This call alludes to the killer going after Wes, which leads to her heading back home where she is stabbed to death by Ghostface. God damn, this neighborhood sucks. All of Woodsboro sucks. How did she get murdered in broad daylight right in front of her house? First. Not a peep.
She's the first person to get murdered by Ghostface in broad daylight.
This is true.
Everybody else either like Randy was murdered in daylight, but it was inside a van. She's the first outside in broad daylight, just straight up. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's new. But this is what I meant by like the pacing slows down. What they did is they kept it going, and then suddenly with this scene, for some reason, they're just like, we're gonna slow this down and do all these music cues and things like that, like the classic door closing, but there's nobody behind it, all that kind of stuff. And it felt to me similar to my issues with the Stabathon bit from Scream 4, where it was just delayed just so that we knew she was not going to get back there in time. And so, but like here, at least what I appreciated was it was kind of designed to make you think she's going to break in through the door and she's going to see him being stabbed right by Ghostface. Ghostface turns, sees her, and then runs. Like that's what we think. It's like it's a kind of projecting towards, or it's foreshadowing something like that. But in actuality, it's just boom, you're getting killed first, and it's like, all right, cool. So like that perspective, I like that they did the twist on it. I appreciated the conversation with Ghostface, where he's like, I'm just gonna gut your little boy. I'm like, all right, shit, man, just going for it. But I really did like that scene with the explanation from the cousins. Well, sorry, why am I forgetting her name? Mindy.
Mindy.
Mindy. With doing the explanation, because it's just like we have to know at a certain point in time, the movie quickly needs to tell us kind of what we're in for. And it does a really great job of doing that by specifically pointing out. Normally, they would give an explanation, but they won't specifically point at people. And this time they do. And I really liked that. And I liked how everybody kind of was like sort of on the ball, with the exception of characters that we're not really told that we need to care about. So it's like, we don't really care about you. So, but I think it did a great job. And then from here, after the Hicks murders, it picks back up.
It does. It does. They do like a great like drawn out kill for Wes, where you like you said, they do like the opening of the door. You think someone's gonna be behind the door, but it's not. He goes into the refrigerator. They do the tense music. Then he closes the refrigerator. No one's there. Then he sees the door. The front door is open. He slowly closes it and locks. And then finally he turns around. Ghostface is there. And God.
One other thing was I'm laughing my ass off when she's getting ready, when Hicks is getting ready to leave, and then she's just like, would you mind putting this back for me? Like, she's just like, yeah, this knife like right in front of this dude's face. I was like, all right, the sheriff clearly doesn't know, like, we're not supposed to just bring a knife up in front of somebody's face, but all right.
You know, not supposed to do that. That's a threat, man. You're the sheriff. Right. You should know that. We get that drawn out Steve, and this is one of the brutal kills of this one, where he gets stabbed in the throat, and the knife goes through his neck. Oh, that was brutal stuff. We see Sam. She arrives at the crime scene, as does Gale, where they bond over Sheriff Hicks not really liking them. So that was a nice little moment there. I love Gale wearing kind of a throwback to what she originally wore in the first Scream there as well. Then Gale sees Dewey, and they reunite with one another, and they get a great scene where they go over their history in between the last two movies. We find out that Gale got her show in New York City. Dewey moves to New York with her, but only stayed for 2 months and left in the middle of the night. And Gale says that she's like, you were always meant to be in Woodsboro, and Dewey's like, you were not. Apparently, this scene was so emotional because of how much this movie has meant to their real life relationship, and they got divorced, I think, 1 year after the Scream 4. So this was so emotional and so tearful for both of them that the first run through for this scene was actually cut, because they got too emotional. They were like crying and too tearful that it basically got cut, and they had to do it again.
Yeah, it kind of was like, this take is for us. Okay, now we'll do the take for the movie.
This is a real conversation we need to have. So.
Which we were talking about. We were talking about in some of the earlier ones, the idea of on-screen couples being real life couples, and this is a great example of how even when you end up not working out, you still have the ability to work really well together. And I think that in this situation, the idea that I think the two of them would have, if for whatever reason the booking had kept them married, I think they would have been able to pull it off just fine. They're both very professional. But as it so happened, because I think maybe they leaned into the divorce aspect because of what happened in real life, and it works out so beautifully, because you can see that they still care and they still love each other, which for the most part, unless there was like serious, like acrimonious reasons as to why two people got divorced, you would assume that there would still be some level of love, affection, or at least respect. And you can absolutely see that between these two.
Absolutely. Richie gets a call from Sam, who lets him know about that the murders of the Hicks family. Richie is watching stab commentary on YouTube. In the suggested videos is an interview with Kirby. So that's actually the first time that we find out that Kirby is still alive. Also, there is a theory that's going around, and that Stu is alive on some of the stuff on the Reddits that he's looking at as well. And the voice of the Ghostface in the Stab 8 footage that they show is Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Your theory just gaining legs,
Hey, stew clues. We get the hospital scene again where Tara is on her own, but she's getting stalked by Ghostface. A police officer gets killed, gets sliced and cut up. Richie comes and tries to make the save after getting a call from Sam, but then he gets sliced on the arm and thrown into the door. Tara is being stalked by Ghostface. Sam calls Richie as the Ghostface grabs the phone and turns on the voice modulator to talk to Sam. Sam stalls him for Dewey and her to come up on the elevator where he shoots at Ghostface. Ghostface runs off. Dewey tries to help Richie, but then Ghostface attacks him again. They get into a whole fight that ends with Dewey shooting Ghostface a few times in the chest. Then he remembers his Roman lesson from Scream 3. He sends Richie and Tara and Sam into the elevator, and he's like, I gotta shoot him in the head. You always gotta shoot him in the head. Sends him down, and he goes to shoot Ghostface in the head, but then he gets a call from Gale. He looks at his phone stupidly, and Ghostface gets up, stabs him in the stomach, then stabs him in the back. And you're like, oh, he's been through this. He'll survive this. But then shifts up and murders him. The blood spills out and drags the knife down his body. And finally, after 5 films, Dewey is dead. This is the worst decision of these requels. I'm sorry. Dewey is the heart of the movie.
That's
and
fair.
Yes, you need to take risks, and you need to murder legacy characters to kind of refresh everything and to let people know that anybody can die in these movies.
So you would have killed Courtney Cox?
I mean,
that's messed up. She's a lady.
I'm not saying who I would kill, but I just think that it was just a bad idea because we didn't even get Dewey and Sidney in a scene together. They only got the phone call. Like, I think this is the worst idea of the requel series of the last 2 movies we're reviewing here. This was the worst decision to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. It does absolutely color the performances of Courtney Cox as Gale, or the character of Gale, in the rest of this movie, as well as Scream 6. Man, there's so much that's cool about this scene. We already see the base rule of, if you try to fuck with Sam Carpenter, she will find ways to murder you. And like, how many people thinking on their feet about, we're going to make this person stall. Like, we're going to stall them for time so they don't know we're coming up on the elevator. Little things. I do blame Dewey a little bit for continuing to have a revolver, which is a terrible choice in pistol. For all of you, revolvers are terrible. You want a semi-automatic. You want a semi-automatic pistol simply because it's easier to reload and it's more shots.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it has less stopping power, sure, but it's easier to get off shots. Like, as we find out, this guy he goes through the 6 rounds in his revolver, and he's sitting there trying to do the reload. You could have just reloaded and kept shooting while you're walking up there. It would have been fine. But this was, again, Stu's Clues. The idea of gutting a man or gutting a human being requires the strength of a man. And if Richie, or, if one of our ghost faces is incapacitated and it's the other ghost face, well, maybe it's not good. Somebody who's going to be able to have
it's also not realistic that this is Amber doing this. This is not.
The other thing is, like,
this is not Amber.
Amber's a 16-year-old girl, and sure, for the purposes of heights and things like that, maybe she's wearing
stilts,
Doc Martens, whatever. We'll go with it. But like, the one I get. The other one I get. This I'm having a little trouble with. Troubling, but I get it. Like, for the purposes of the movie. But what I really appreciate, that is
not 5'3" Miley Madison. That is not 5'3" Miley Madison.
What I did like was it's an honor.
That was good.
That was
probably the best
chef
part.
Kiss.
Even though I think that's the worst idea of the requels, it's probably the best part. We see Gale. She is shocked to see Dewey dead. She has a very emotional reaction to that with Sam and Richie holding her back. We then see her sitting in the hospital and she sends her condolences. Sam sends her condolences to Gale, who just wants to sit there and kind of think about it. Sam goes to check on Tara, but then Sid arrives. She comes directly there. I don't how far away was Sid? Like this had to be like maybe an hour ago. She's already there. Like she's not that far from Woodsboro, it seems. She says she comes to grieve with Gale. This is the first film, like I mentioned earlier, that we have no Sid and Dewey scenes together in person. Sam and Tara decide that they're going to pull a Joel from Scream 2 and get the hell up out of here. Good choice. While Sid and Gale, they want revenge and to murder the killer. But the Carpenter sister is like, we ain't with that. Sam's like, nah, this is your life, lady. This ain't my life.
She's smart.
Yeah, just get out. Just leave. But Sid puts a tracker on their car to make sure that they get the hell up out of here. So Sid is also smart.
She's like 5 movies in. She's like, listen, lightning struck. It struck. We have tracking devices now. Deal with
it. Exactly. She was like, I thought it was something that Gale Weathers was doing. And Gale was like, okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Tara, though, is missing her inhaler. How convenient. But she has a spare at Amber's house. And they head there after some protest from Richie. Amber is having a party for the third act, which actually doubles as a tribute for Wes Hicks, that character in the movie, as well as Wes Craven, the director of the first four films.
That was really cool when I read about that they did that.
Yeah.
And all the voices that...
Yeah, I noted all of them. We got vocal cameos in the Cheers to Wes from Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, Hayden Panettiere. You got Henry Winkler, you got Adam Brody, and Drew Barrymore. All are heard as the cheers and the toast to Wes. The party has plenty of suspicious encounters, including Mindy and Amber in the basement, where they both claim that they could be the killer, as well as Liv and Chad, who are making out and look like they're about to fuck, but Chad's like, I don't really want to go upstairs with you. You might be the killer. So Liv runs off. Chad goes looking for Liv while Mindy is watching Stab 1, which gives us another scene that we never seen from Stab 1, which is a recreation of the party scene where Randy gives them the rules of a horror film. Chad turns on his GPS that they talked about earlier, him and Liv, because of the murders going on and keeping track of one another, and he turns it on to find her, but it's actually Ghostface who winds up stabbing him in the leg. He tries to run off, but then she comes out of the freaking woodwork and stabs him in the back, stabs him in the side a bunch of times, but then sees the car showing up with Sam and Tara. Sam and Tara show up, and Amber wants to end the party. Richie kicks everyone out, which leads to another voice cameo by Jamie Kennedy once again. So Jamie Kennedy's all over this movie. Richie goes in the basement and goes for beer because Mindy tells him the beer is downstairs, and he breaks even more horror rules when he says, I'll be right back, and him and Mindy share a laugh, and she says, he's dead. Mindy's one of the best characters. She really assumed the role of Randy so well.
She's like, I don't gotta think about him anymore.
Sid and Gale go over their history together since before Scream 1, with Gale blaming herself for the book that started this all, while Sid blames Billy instead of Roman. I was like, oh, she said, fuck her big brother. He ain't the real mastermind behind this. She said, forget that. And it was like, I blame Billy. Oh, shit. I was like, okay, damn. Sid realizes where they're at, and we get the big reveal that Sam is at Stu Macher's house. And I'd love to zoom out.
My favorite.
I just hate the fact that they show that in the trailer. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. That's one of the biggest reveals of the whole movie, but they show it in the trailer, which doesn't have the same effect if you saw the trailer and then saw the movie.
That was my favorite. That's my favorite part of the entire movie, is when they go, you're in the house. And if you're not paying attention, like let's say even if you saw the trailer, but it was months later, or you never saw the trailer, either way, you're not paying attention. when she starts looking around and the camera starts panning back to give better perspective, and you're like, oh shit, that is that staircase. Oh shit, and then it does the Dutch camera angle where it puts it tilts the perspective of what would be right side up. It just tilts the camera a bit, and then it zooms out through the open doorway. You're like, it's about to go down.
It's like, we here, yeah. We get a very meta scene where Mindy is watching the first stab, and with Randy with the ghost face behind him, and realizes she actually is smart enough to realize, oh, you should look behind you.
That's
shit.
One of the reasons why that's my favorite part is because where Richie goes down to get beer is like pretty much sort of directly behind her. Well, she's on the couch, right? So she's just like, yeah, I don't have to worry about him anymore. But the entire time she's like, I don't have to worry about things that are behind me. I don't have to worry about him because he went down that basement door that's behind me. But I don't have to worry about the basement door or anybody coming up the basement door. She's just like, I'm going to watch this TV. Smart, but not 100%.
Not 100. Very Randy. Very Randy. She gets stabbed, but only in the shoulder. That's when Sam, then Tara, Richie, Amber, and Liv all come into the room. Everyone is accusing each other until Amber just decides to shoot Liv right in the fucking head and says, welcome to the third act, baby.
Because one of my first thoughts is like, well, where did she get the gun from? I was like, wait, no, nobody told me where she had a gun this whole time. What the fuck? Nobody. But it was still like, she's like, you're not the killer because I am.
Tara fights Amber when she goes to shoot Sam while Richie rushes Sam in the basement. Sam pulls a knife on Richie, unsure of trusting him, while he tries to say that there's always a second killer and it could be Tara because she hasn't talked to Sid and talked to Sam in so long. Sid and Gale show up and they got their guns because she's Sidney fucking Prescott, of course. But Amber tried to fake them out. They realize that this is a trap, but then she shoots Gale in the stomach. Gale is sidelined for a bit, so Sid has to enter Stu's house on her own. So she's reliving the biggest nightmare night of her life, the thing that started this all. Sid starts shooting doors. He was like, you better get out this door. I'm shooting. Like, she starts shooting the door. She gets called by Ghostface. She tells Ghostface is like, oh, you didn't know the one rule. Don't answer the I'm bored. And she hangs up on him. She shoots the last door, and one of her shots hits Richie before Ghostface comes out and attacks her from behind. They both fall from the second floor with Sid dropping the gun. She's telling Richie to grab the gun, but he's like limping because he got shot to the leg. Sam finds Tara and thinks that whether she can trust her or not because of what Richie said, but she does decide to free her when she's taped up in the closet. She then comes to pick up the gun, but doesn't shoot before Richie comes down and joins her and stabs her in the stomach to reveal that he is the second killer. This was a good reveal. I will say this was a really good reveal.
Because like the entire time you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't think this is Scream 3. I think there's going to be a second Ghostface. They're alluding to there being a second Ghostface. Now, maybe they're alluding to it for the purposes of tricking me, but if they aren't, who would I expect it to be? And you're not thinking that it would be Richie. Like they've clearly kind of laid that groundwork, but like the hallmark of a good murder mystery, in essence, is to leave breadcrumbs for a lot of different people. And it's like the question is just who was willing to make that final step from being a normal law-abiding citizen to being somebody who is willing to murder somebody. And Richie said, that's what I came here. Like, this is what you came for. It's like, this is what I came to do. And he's just like, and stab.
Oh man, Jack Quaid, I think he was one of the best acting performances in the whole movie. The way he plays the kind of aloof, dumb boyfriend and then turns into the Ghostface is so good.
One of the interesting things to note is he maintains that he has not seen any of the stab movies. Right now, as he is watching the YouTube videos and things like that, and then he starts talking about it to Sam, he gets like more and more agitated every time he brings it up, and he keeps like,
Yeah.
like talking faster and like over
Yep.
himself and over himself, and it's
And
kind of giving away that it's hard for him to not talk about this.
and it's also go back to the scene when they first go to Dewey's house,
Mhm.
and I rewinded it. Look at his face.
Yeah,
Look at his face. He's like so fandom. Like, oh my god, I'm meeting Dewey Riley. Like he has that face, but he doesn't say anything. But you can see him. He's like breathing heavy, like he's trying to hold back his excitement. It's really well done. It's a really well done hint that really will go unnoticed if you don't watch it back.
It reminded me every time he does it, or every time I see it, I get reminded of that Jay-Z line. It's like, you're in the presence of a king, scratch that, you're in the presence of a god. Like he's just like, oh, it's Dewey. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so good. It's really good. Richie and Amber are apparently dating, and they met each other on the Stab Reddit page. Their motive is that they are angry about the demise of Stab, so they plan this new murder spree to adapt into a new film. So they plan to pin all of this on. Sam says, you want to make me the new hero. He was like, no, you're the villain. It's like, this is all on you. They want to pin this all on Sam and her Loomis lineage. They bring in Gale and they stab Sidney, and I'm like, oh, Sidney getting stabbed again. What's new?
when Richie's like, it wasn't difficult to figure this out. He's like, they just look at her, he's like, it wasn't difficult to fuck you. And Sam's like, I'm killing you last. She's like, you can see that her side. She's like, I'm gonna kill you last.
He's like the whole liberated woman and their sexual freedom. I was like, oh my god, this monologue is awesome. He's so good. I want him to die now. Oh, and Miley Madison is so good as the new generation Stu. The scene where she goes, ee, ee, ee. It's so good. It's so good.
Because like part of it also is like it's sort of like this idea of like, imagine getting into an online long distance relationship, and then this is the first time you meet the other person, but it's like we're murdering people. Then you just add that.
Love.
But it's like,
this is how we express our love.
But it's like, are you good, babe? Yeah, babe, I'm great. What's going on, babe? Like, it's so funny because it's like the entire previous parts of it. They're like, she's like, oh yeah, what's going on, Netflix? Like it's back.
Yeah. They try to like basically accuse one another in front of Sheriff Hicks.
Part of it's like, there's something there, but I don't know. And then now all of a sudden they're like, we love each other.
I could only imagine. Like, I wish we would have got like a deleted scene or like the DVD of them walking out of the hospital room, and they're just having like sexual talk while he's talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna go murder the sheriff. Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. Tara calls because Sam did not listen to the accusations by Richie, and she freed Tara. So Tara comes out of the woodwork. She attacks Amber with her crutch. She pushes Amber down, but eventually Amber gets the better of her and throws her over the couch, then goes at it with the legacy ladies in the kitchen. She chokes Gale and confirms that she was the one who killed Dewey, which once again I put in my notes, that is not believable at all. At all. Sam cracks Amber in the face with a glass hand sanitizer bottle, and then Sid gives Gale this kill by handing her the gun, so she shoots Amber multiple times, who backs into the stove. She turns on the stove and then goes face first into a fire and sets ablaze. She was like, enjoy that torch you wanted.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Because like at first I thought like, okay, I was like, oh, they broke hand sanitizer. It's in her eyes. It's gonna sting. Cool. Then I'm like, okay, they say this torch line, and then they light her on fire, and like I'm not even connecting torch, and then finally goes, "Enjoy that torch." I was like, "Oh, see, it was me. I was my bad.
Good writing.
I didn't
Good
see
writing.
that. I didn't see that."
Very well done writing. Meanwhile, you get Sam who battles Richie, but her stab, a wound, causes him to have the advantage. However, she gets another vision from her murderous ghost daddy in her head in the mirror. Who she looks like she's going. She looks like she's going towards the umbrella, the same umbrella that Sidney used against Billy in the first film. But Billy lets her know that there's a knife right there, so she grabs the knife. Richie gets on top of her. He looks like he has the advantage, but then she uses the knife and stabs him right in the fucking face. And then she flows full on Billy Loomis and goes absolutely ham. She stabs him 21 times in the torso and in the chest. Richie stops her so he could say one final line where he says, "What about my ending?" And Sam says, "Here's your ending," and then slits his throat and kills Richie. I was like, "Oh man, Sam the goat Carpenter, yes." It's like Sidney Prescott never killed anyone like that.
Listen, like all due respect to Sidney Prescott, but this girl hit the ground running. She hit the ground running. She knew she had problems, and she said, "I'm going to remove myself from the situation." And then other people brought her into the situation, and she said, "But now why would you do that?" "Because I was trying to live a calm, peaceful life working at a bowling alley. You guys decided to bring me here. Now, look what I got. Look what you made me do. Like, this is not my fault. This is your fault." It's just like from the start, from the moment she gets to Woodsboro, she's just like casing everybody. She's like, "Who's trying to kill my sister? Why?" As soon as she figures out why, she's like, "Okay, so now everybody's a threat. Everybody's a suspect." She's got her dad's voice in her head. She knows to make a ghost face stall on the phone. And then once the one time she does get an advantage on somebody, she uses it with zero remorse. There's not a drop of remorse in this woman's body. She's like, "You tried to kill me like 3 times. Fuck you. Die." Beautiful. Like, all respect to Sidney, but like, that's efficient.
She was very efficient. She knew where to stab as well. Just a masterful job. Sid and Gale join Sam, and Sid lets her know that they always come back. So she grabs the gun from Gale, and she doesn't even hesitate. Just pop, 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 boom, right in the head. But if you think she's a good shot, got something for you. It runs in the family. Then Amber gives us the one last scare where she is all burnt up, but she's still alive. And fucking Tara from like 10 feet away caps her right in the fucking side of the head.
Beautiful.
Like, let's go. You had to give Jenna Ortega something after she got almost killed in the first scene. Thank you for that.
It was just a beautiful ending. Beautiful ending.
Yes. Mindy and Chad actually survived their stab wounds. Tara asks to go to another hospital this time after that hospital gave her so much trouble and stuff. Sam shares a moment with Sid and Gale, and she gets a nod of approval in the car window from her ghost daddy. And that's how we end Scream 2022.
Loved it.
Final thoughts.
This is we see what the intent was with Scream 4 in 2011, and it worked to a great degree. Now, as we pointed out in a review, there was a bit of sort of revisionist history that needed to happen versus how it was originally received. With this one, they had a very similar daunting task in front of them. Actually, you could argue even more daunting, because they now have to do a second reboot, and they saw that the first time they tried to do this, it wasn't well received. And in this situation,
and now it's without Wes Craven,
right? And in this situation, what they do is they kind of go like sort of not balls to the wall, but like as close to the level of realistic believability that you can with Scream, while also maintaining the sense of like what brought Scream to the dance. This meta commentary, a little bit of good humor and things like that. Nothing like over the top. And the ultimately what has made Scream so enduring is well written, well developed characters between Dewey, Gale, Sidney, and then a smattering of other people here and there. That's what really developed and made 1, 2, 3, and 4 what they are. And so they said, well, how do we do this? And how do we keep this going? We're going to create two really great characters. And Tara doesn't get as much development here, but she will in the future. And Sam gets amazing levels of development and kind of cements herself as like arguably like the second best character in the overarching series, simply because of her level of dedication to protecting her family, willingness to sacrifice herself, and 3, like she's smart. Like she is from the get-go, she's smart, but it doesn't feel like she's a Mary Sue, because we know she has problems and we know like, kind of what she's dealing with.
Yeah, it's very well done. Very well done here. All right, best characters. I'm gonna go with Sam, Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the legacy characters, I feel like Dewey was the best. So
he
that's
had
the
most,
one I will.
He kind of had the most to do. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I will go with Richie and Amber, especially when they turn into Ghostface.
Yeah, from when they turn, similarly to Billy and Stu turning, like just that ramp up. There's a lot of fun, just similarities between this movie and the original Scream, which I think was very well done. Like they did homages and not like specific straight out callbacks, but they did kind of like, this is a new interpretation of something that happened there, and it was very well done. But as soon as the reveal happens, those two like just jump off the screen.
Yeah. All right. Who is your MVP?
I'll go Sam.
Yeah, I go Sam as well. LVP.
Is it bad that I want to say Dewey?
I mean, you could say Dewey, could say Billy as well. I don't know if we really needed Ghost Dad in her head as much as we did. I'd probably go with Chad, though, because of how they're going to try to make him into one of these core 4 and stuff like this in the next movie.
I can see
really
that.
Useless in this film.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, because like, shout out to him for having the self-preservation to not take the girlfriend upstairs for sex, but then like no self-preservation to go chasing after her
and turn on your GPS,
or
come on.
or arguably to initiate sex in the first place, like to put yourself in a position where you have to upset her by turning her down after you started it. I don't know. Yeah, I can see that.
All right, let's put our thumbs in the middle for Scream 5 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board once again from both of us. Out of 10, what did you give this film?
So I gave the first Scream 9. I gave Scream 4 an 8.5. I would give this one an 8.5 as well. It is one of the best out of the series. It's so well made. It's so well paced, except for Wes and the mom, the Hicks family murders. But it does a really great job of reestablishing the tone, reestablishing the legacy characters, setting up the new characters, and kind of giving us this vision of what Scream's going to be going forward. So I think they pretty much nailed every aspect of what they tried to do. So it's hard for me to nitpick. Like, it's just kind of pacing issues and things like that. But that's also what I had with issues with Scream 4.
I gave Scream 1, or on our initial review, I gave it a 9. On the last review we did, I retroactively gave it a 9.5. I gave Scream 2 an 8 out of 10. I gave Scream 3 a 6.5 a 6 out of 10. And then I gave Scream 4 an 8 out of 10. This is on par with Scream 4 and Scream 2 for me as far as the sequels go. So I will go with an 8 out of 10 once again for this one.
It's fair.
But That brings us to a close on another review of Scream with Scream 5. Only one more review to go before we wrap things up and prepare for Scream 7. So I hope you guys are enjoying our Scream week, because we had reviews on Sunday, we had a review on Monday, we got this one today. So hope you enjoy it as well. But StatKing, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they will see you again.
You guys can always catch me here on the True Hill Heat Sports Entertainment channel, True Picks and True Off Season, where Chase and I cover various aspects of the NFL during the actual games, during the actual season, as well as the off season, and all the different moves that teams make. You can also catch Chase and myself covering The Pit, and we just finished our season 1 recap. We're now going to be going week by week for episodes of season 2, so be on the lookout for that as we get to it. And you can also catch myself and Sid talking about music. We had our debut episode of True Headphone Heat with the J. Cole Fall Off review. That was a fun one to talk about, kind of an album that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a very long time. Did not disappoint. And you can see all our review there and all of our other reviews as we continue to build out the True Headphone Heat series.
Indeed, and check out all the great stuff we've done on the Scream series so far. Our Scream 1 review is up, our Scream 2 review is up, our Scream 3 review is up, Scream 4 review was up as well, and we will be back for one final review before we prepare for our review of Scream 7 with our Scream 6 review from 2023. Until next time, you can follow me on social media at TrueHill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHill Heat. Patreon.com/TrueHill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we're not live here or on the wrestling channel. But for the StatKing, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our Scream 5 review. We are signing off until